Now I'm going to show you how to use the Access Tools app to evaluate a building. So once you've registered, you will open the app and it will prompt you to enter your username and password. So I've done that. It will bring you there, and then for the purpose of this project, you are going to complete a new evaluation. So you'll click New Evaluation. I'll allow it to look at my location. And so we're here at FIU. And so you and your partner will be assigned a building on campus to evaluate. One of the buildings is the Frost Art Museum. So I'll search for the Frost Art Museum. And then you will name your evaluation. So there are 3 sections of the class: Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, and Thursday morning. So if you're in the Tuesday morning class, you might name your evaluation Tuesday morning. And then there's the place, and then for the assessors, you'll put your student name 1, and then the student 2. But instead of student, you'd write your name. Okay, and then you hit continue. And so now it brings you to the evaluation. So you'll see that on the left side of the screen, where it has the Roman numerals, these are the different, this is the navigation. So this is showing you where you are in the assessment. And then on the right side, you'll see the actual assessment items. So the left is showing you where you are, the right is what you are actually doing to assess. So when you first get to the building, you're going to go and do a walkthrough to really understand the building and the different features and the entrances, and so you know all of the parts of the building. Once you do that, you're going to start from the top at doorways, and then you are going to answer your questions and work your way down all the way to the bottom, which is restaurants. For the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to show you the ramp section because I find that it is particularly informative. So it's going to start, it uses a trichotomous scoring approach. So first it will ask you, are there whatever feature this is? So for example, restaurants, if you're not evaluating a restaurant, it won't ask you about restaurant features like tables and chairs and menus and things like that. So for ramps, the first question it's asking is there a ramp? So it wants to know if there's ramps. So if there's no ramps in the building, it's completely flat, then you would hit not applicable. And if you hit not applicable, it's going to go to the next feature. But if there are ramps, so say there is a ramp, you would hit begin ramps, and then it's going to ask you more questions about ramps. At the beginning of each feature, there's an overview video. And the video walks you through different features of ramps and helps you conceptualize evaluating ramps. So if you want to know more information about ramp accessibility, that's a good resource for you to watch. So if there's no ramp, you'd hit not applicable. If there is a ramp, then you would hit begin ramps. So it's going to begin by asking you the first question. So it wants to know if there's a ramp on the exterior leading to the main entrance. So it wants to know if it is safe and easily navigable. And so it uses a trichotomous scoring, so your options are yes, maybe, no, and not applicable. So if you are an accessibility expert, a lot of experts can look at a ramp and determine if it's accessible or not accessible. So an expert might hit yes or no, but if you're not sure, then you select maybe, and it will bring you to another more detailed question. So the last question was overall, is the ramp accessible? Now it asks you if the runs of the ramp are safe and easily navigable. This includes the run of the slope, the cross slope, the consistent slope, the total rise, landings, etc. So if you need more information, you can hit the I, and it will tell you like what the run of a ramp is or what the cross slope of the ramp is. And it will also tell you the standards. So we could see here that the standard of a run of a slope should be 5%, and the cross slope should be not greater than 2%. It also offers us tools. So for your assessment, if you want to take a picture to help you remember later. You could take a picture by hitting the photo, and then it would bring up your camera. You'd have to give it access. You could also bring up your, you can film it. And then on the bottom, there are different tools. So the tool in the center measures distance. The tool second from the right measures sound, and the rightmost tool measures slope. And so you can see that some of the icons are grayed out and some of them are in color. So the ones that are in color are your options. And so for the ramp, the tool that we want is the slope. So we can go back to this question, and it wants to know if the runs of the ramp are safe and easily navigable. And so we want to look at the run of the slope and the cross slope. So if we're not sure, we asked for more information. We found that the slope cannot be greater than 5% and the cross slope cannot be greater than 2%. So we will hit the slope, and we're going to look at the run of the slope of the ramp. We will orient the iPad correctly along the ramp. So you're going to put it in the center of the ramp, and then you're going to orient it with the arrow as directed, and then you're going to hit begin. And so we could see right now that my iPad is sitting at a 5.64% slope, and it has determined that it is good. And say that slope reading wasn't good and I needed to restart it, I would just hit restart. I'd do slope of the ramp, I'd hit begin. And so I held my iPad up to be a little bit steeper, and you can see that the percent is now 16.51, which would be too steep, and so you see that it's poor. So the actual slope of the ramp is 7, so we'll call that 8%, and so we'll save that reading, and you can see the reading. And so the run of the slope is not greater than 5%, and here we can see that the run of the slope was actually 8%, so I'm going to say no. And so now it's going to take me to the landing. So are the landings of the ramp wide, flat, and long? So again, we can ask for more information, and then it tells you what the landings are, and it tells you any standards from the Americans with Disabilities Act that are relevant, and then you answer. And so you could see that it just gave me a pop-up saying that it was going to skip some questions. So as soon as it has enough information, it will skip questions and move to the next aspect. So you're evaluating the ramp, you're going to look at the run, the landing, the surface, the edge, and handrails, and then it'll ask you if there are any more ramps. So you'll do that for each feature. So I showed you how to navigate, I showed you the tools, I showed you how to make yes, maybe, no determinations. So when in doubt, select maybe, and then to get more information, you can select the I button, or you can watch the video and use the tools to help you make the accessibility determination. So say you are conducting your evaluation and you are ready, you need to take a break to get some lunch. So you could go back, you can exit the app, and then when you come back in, you're going to go to an existing evaluation. And here's your evaluation right here, Tuesday AM, and you are going to resume. And we were working on ramps, and you can see that we've answered 6 out of 18 questions. So after you complete the evaluation, you are going to mail the results to yourself. So in the top right-hand corner, you're going to select the email icon, and here is the report. We see it as an attachment, and it's going to email it to myself, and that's the email that I registered with. And I'll put a note, the evaluation, and then send it. And so that's a brief overview on how to use the Access Tools app to evaluate buildings for accessibility.